But, like my friend David said, doesn't the end justify the means? The answer is absolutely not. And where is the classic example? Without going again into all of the details, the classic example is Pinchas. The Torah tells us that when Pinchas slaughtered Cosby and Zimri, he did it for the sake of the Lord. To the extent that because of this merit, he received eternally the priesthood, the high priesthood, eternally. His children and children's children after him. However, states the Gemara, when Pinchas slaughtered these two individuals, he lost every right to the kahuna, to the priesthood. He lost it. So if that's the case, then how was he guaranteed? So Rabbi Shimon answers that he died, and there was a clinical death. The body was there, intact. The soul left, and in an instant later, the soul returned. And this you have already learned in the courses of reincarnation. But what does it teach us? Without getting into the details of clinical death and how he was reincarnated, states the Zohar with the souls of Nadav ve'Avihu, who had died previously on Yom Kippur because they brought a strange fire while their father Aaron was alive. And he now became incarnated. But he died. He died for a split second, but there was death. Why was that necessary? Because the end never justifies the means to that 1%. 1% was the murder. That 1% had to pay the price. The 1% must pay the price. On the 99% level, on that pure conscious level, he was Kineyat Hashem. He was commended for it. But the 1% level had to pay its price. He was disqualified from the priesthood. So the Zohar tells us that he died, and why he died, but it was a split-second death and rebirth again.
But he was also qualified?
Who? No. He was reborn. He was reborn again. Reborn again, Pinchas.
He became a Kohen later on.
You don't like that expression, yeah.
But was he also
Why?
qualified?
He was reborn again. Right then and there. He was reborn. What?
Was he qualified to do that? Just like...
The Torah says yes. At that point, he was permitted to interfere in those two tikkunim, their tikkun process. It was justified. The Torah says it was justified. However, the act itself, despite the fact that it was justifiable, but the act itself was an act of murder. An act of murder is murder. And therefore he was disqualified from the priesthood.